Arduino aplicado en medicina. Brazo robótico, por María Belén Vera González. Definición. Un brazo robótico es un tipo de brazo mecánico generalmente programable con funciones similares a un brazo humano. El brazo puede ser la suma de total de mecanismos, puede ser parte de un robot más complejo. Es muy beneficioso en la medicina ya que puede tener una mayor precisión y evitar temblores, ya que una operación larga no da mucho cansancio. Estas máquinas son programadas mediante Arduino, que es un hardware muy útil y barato para la industria. Aplicaciones en medicina. Gracias a esta plataforma de hardware libre, la medicina se está beneficiando tanto en términos financieros como técnicos. Actualmente los más conocidos en esta área se encuentran en el desarrollo del brazo y piernas robóticas, integrando recursos tecnológicos que gran avance, pero lo que quizás no sabías es que también se utiliza en proyectos mucho más complejos. Se están desarrollando en la actualidad muchos complejos sobre este hardware, como los cuales electrocardiograma desarrollado con Arduino, programación con Arduino para presionar con deficiencias visuales, sensores médicos conectados a Internet.
Hello, I am Jody Martinez with my partner Gabriel Araya. We are students of the career Computer Engineering, and it's a great pleasure to present the Arduino platform in medical applications. We are going to talk about the Arduino concept and the different applications in the medicine and how it works in a specific application or purpose. Arduino. Arduino is a free hardware platform based on a platform with a microcontroller and a development environment designed to facilitate the use of electronics in a multidisciplinary projects. Arduino in medical applications. These are two types of uses of Arduinos in medicine. Electrocardiogram developed with Arduino and Arduino programming for people with visual impairments. Electrocardiogram developed with Arduino. Fans of programming in Arduino decided to develop a digital electrocardiogram which monitors the heart rate of people. Arduino programming for people with visual impairments. The company User Technologies has developed a project that has completely changed the lives of these people. This project has been carried out with the use of programming with Arduino, which works in such a way that the user will be able to reach his destination with using Google Maps or GPS services, and that together with sensor of vibration, transmission, and sensitivity that will be placed inside the shoes, the person can reach anywhere the world you want. So, iPillbox. iPillbox is an iOS application that helps to the seniors to remember take their pills. Also, this application helps the nurses in the world. Probably anyone have access to this application. Basically, iPillbox will produce an alarm on your phone to remember take the medication at the time indicated by a doctor. If you don't take your medication, the alarm will be continued until the rate of the medication decreases. Then the alarm stops. This on of the plates have the weight of the pills. If the weight change when the clock indicates the alarm time, then send signals by internet to the user or many users in same time. Levalum iHealth Sensor Platform. Levalum iHealth Sensor Platform offers an array of sensors and possibilities for low-budget biometrical projects. It is a shell designed to connect to Arduino and allows users to take all types of biometric measurements of attachments, like pulse and breathing, body temperature, oxygen in the blood, electrocardiogram, electrothermic activity, and blood pressure. Conclusions. Arduino is not expensive in hardware, therefore can be used by new inventors or in hospital projects. Gabriel mentioned some uses that can be assisted with Arduino machine, but there are many more uses around the world, then we still have a lot to discover, and we have a lot to learn. Thank you.
Ventajas. Una de las ventajas puede ser que mejora la visión a través de la ampliación tridimensional, mejora la destreza y hay mayor precisión, tu habilidad de neutralizar los temblores de las manos, mejorar el control por parte del cirujano.
Robots have been used to increase precision and repeatability in every field of life so far, and it's taken a while for us to get the confidence to use it in medicine, but we have enough evidence now to use it in routine patient care, and it will unlock new aspects of outcomes for patients with hip replacements and knee replacements. What we can see here is the anatomy of the patient's knee, the bottom end of their femur here. So this is taken from the three-dimensional CT, which is done preoperatively. The system, when we come to surgery, actually knows where the patient's anatomy is. It identifies the hip, we identify the ankle, and it knows the anatomy of the knee as we identify the key landmarks. The robotic-assisted arm allows us that pinpoint accuracy to essentially paint by numbers to only take away the marked areas on the preparation scan.
It only moves in a certain area by what's called haptic control. And if you get out of that window where you actually want to go, it doesn't allow you to. So the surgeon is in control, and you can see from the diagrams on the board where you are in relation to where you want to be. In terms of hip replacement surgery, it used to be that the outcome measure that you measured was how long the hip remained inside the patient. But we're much more interested now, not only in that, but the recovery of the patient and what function they can return to. So we want to deliver an outcome where they have what we call a forgotten hip. That is a hip like their native hip. They just don't think about day to day. And we believe that if we can more precisely carry out the surgery so that all of the muscles and the tendons are working at their correct lever arms and the center of rotation of the hip is in the correct place, then we should be able to show that the functional outcome is better for the patient, and they can return to not only normal activities of daily living, but sporting activities.
It has advantages in the short term for the patient, in decreased pain, earlier mobilization, shorter hospital stay. But it also has decreased complications. It seems to have decreased readmission rates, so coming back into hospital. And it has benefits in the longer term, in that the alignment of your knee replacement will be better, and your satisfaction with your knee replacement will be higher.
Desventajas. Sufrir daño permanente en los nervios por colocarse en una posición poco natural. La máquina también puede causar quemaduras y por la corriente eléctrica. Los cirujanos que utilizan un robot no reciben la respuesta táctil que se obtiene al cortar directamente el tejido de un paciente. Al cortar y eso se puede incrementar el riesgo de la lesión al afectar órganos adyacentes.
Robocop, Robo-Dog, Robo-Doctor. Alright, medical technology is getting weirder by the day, but I mean that in a good way. Take the eye knife, for example. It's a surgical knife that actually vaporizes tissue and then analyzes the smoke that comes out so that a surgeon can know if she's cutting into cancerous cells or healthy margins. Or what about mechanical leeches? They pretty much do what medicinal leeches do, only with less chance of a bacterial infection and a lot less writhing. There's only so much improvement you can do to a tool before you eventually have to turn your attention to the hand that holds that tool, and that's where robotic surgery comes in. So do you remember the autonomous surgery pod in Ridley Scott's Prometheus? How far away are we from something like that? Oh, not as far away as you might think. You see, robotic surgery and computer-assisted medicine are already doing amazing things right now, and the potential for what they could do in the future could change medicine forever. One of the most common surgical robots is the Da Vinci line. Da Vinci is focused on translating a surgeon's control movements into direct action upon a patient. So every time a human moves, the robot moves. Unless, of course, a T-Rex happens to be walking by, in which case the robot actually filters out any of those little hand trimmers, so that way you get pure control, no error. Another advantage of robot surgeons is the chance for telesurgery. So let's assume that you're some sort of futuristic penguin research scientist, and you're on assignment off the coast of Antarctica when suddenly you need an appendectomy. But your ship is completely trapped by ice, and your ship's surgeon has been, I don't know, kidnapped by ice pirates or something. What do? Essentially, you Skype it in. A surgeon on the mainland sits down at a terminal and supervises robotically assisted telesurgery via satellite uplink. Another advantage is minimally invasive procedures. Now see, traditional open surgery can leave big scars that can take a long time to heal, and there's a lot of pain involved in recovery. But what if instead of making a 4-inch incision in your stomach, we were able to do the same procedure using instruments put through little 1/2-inch holes? Now, human doctors have been doing minimally invasive procedures for years, but honestly, there's only so much human hands can do through these tiny holes in your skin. But robotic precision means those incisions have gotten smaller and smaller over time. And if we continue through this miniaturization rabbit hole, who knows? Maybe one day there'll be barely a notion of what an inpatient procedure is. Now, the future for robotic surgery is wide open. Just take a look at what people have created with the Raven line. This is an open source robotic surgeon, and sure, it looks like a couple of mechanical spider arms, but the important thing here is research. You see, it creates a common platform for people to do experiments which will determine the future of robotic surgery. But beyond all that, instead of just talking about robotic-assisted surgeries, let's talk about their full potential. We're talking autonomous robot surgeons. Okay, so with machine learning, a robot surgeon could potentially study all the information from successful procedures in the past and apply that to learn how to do those procedures in the future. And if they prove to be as good or better than human surgeons, maybe we wouldn't even go to hospitals to have surgery. Instead, if you expected to have a surgery, you might buy a robot surgeon for the home, or for the office, or for the spacecraft. Which leads me to a question for all of you out there. Let's say that you have to have a dangerous surgical procedure. Which would you choose? The best human surgeon alive today, or the best robot surgeon from 50 years in the future? Let us know what your decision is and explain why in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, and after all that,
Problema aplicado en Ecuador. El sistema permite realizar operaciones complejas con un margen de error del 1% en la tasa del IES. A casi 3 años de la llegada del robot Da Vinci al Hospital Carlos Andrade Marín del Instituto Ecuatoriano de Seguridad Social, en los tiempos en el quirófano para las cirugías generales, ginecológicas y urológicas se han reducido considerablemente. Da Vinci es comandado con el cirujano desde una consola ubicada a escasos metros del paciente dentro del mismo quirófano, desde donde con sus manos y sus pies maneja los 4 brazos que tiene el robot. Eso hace que no tenga contacto directo, pero siempre hay un equipo de cirugías auxiliares y las enfermeras capacitadas en el sistema que se encuentran cerca para mover, asistir al paciente, y señala el coordinador del programa. Conclusión. Los brazos robóticos son muy beneficiosos por muchos aspectos, como menos dolor, menos pérdida de sangre, inclusiones más pequeñas y cicatrices mínimas, mejorar el riesgo de la infección, una estadía hospitalaria más corta o regreso más rápido de sus actividades diarias. Por todo esto debemos involucrarnos más y que en estos proyectos y adquirir conocimiento sobre el tema, ya que nos ayuda a ahorrar tiempo y dinero en cirugías peligrosas e invasivas.
Digital robots are too expensive and hard to use. However, they could save you time at home, help you do creative work, or learn new technologies. So, why keep these benefits away from you? Meet Nereo One, the first accessible 6-axis robotic arm. Nereo One is a low-cost and user-friendly robot made out of 3D printing and open-source technologies. It was created so everyone can use it. For makers, Nereo One can help you learn robotics and be your perfect coworker. It can easily pick and place many kinds of objects. For example, to automate a 3D printer. Do anything your imagination can create just by easily changing the end effector tool. With Nerio 1, reproduce industrial use cases such as drilling or drawing on any surface with any orientation. Nerio 1 is great for robotics education, for students to learn, but also for children. They can get to know more about new technologies and get some programming basics. So much fun involved. Nerio 1 will also save you some time in daily life so you can relax and do the things that matter the most. Controlling Nerio 1 is so easy. You can teach the robot what you want it to do just by moving it with your hands. Want to use a gamepad? Here you go. You can use the mobile and web applications to have more control over the robot and control it from a remote place. Nerio 1 will be connected to the internet. Oh, and it means you can also get free software upgrades, and you can share programs with your family, friends, and other people around the world. We specially thought about makers and developers by making most of our code open source. STL files for 3D printing will also be released. You will be able to program directly on the robot, with many APIs and the source code. It's a great way to learn robotics and do useful stuff with Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and Robot Operating System.
We are passionate robot makers who want to spread the word with easy-to-use, low-cost, and useful robots.
Time has come for robotics to get out of factories and help people having a better life and a better technology education.
Please back us on Kickstarter to help bringing accessible robots to everyone.
And thank you for your support.
Gracias.